Anyone with a habit of getting married often might wonder, what's it like to have two husbands? Claire, the heroine, was a time traveler from the future. Not long after marrying her modern-day husband, she was suddenly transported 200 years into the past, to 18th century Scotland. There, to survive threats from the British Redcoats, she had no choice but to marry Jamie, a man over 2 centuries her senior. But Jamie was a wanted fugitive, framed for murder and on the run. They had to sneak back to his long-abandoned estate. To Claire's surprise, her new husband turned out to be the lord of that land. Though he was framed by Captain Randall, they had managed to start clearing his name. Once a royal pardon came through, Jamie would no longer have to live in hiding. Until then, they had to keep a low profile on the estate. Jamie, however, had long been haunted by one question. Had his sister been raped by Randall after he left? He'd carried that guilt for years. Seeing her brother so tormented, his sister finally told him the truth. Randall had dragged her into a room and tried to force himself on her. But, shockingly, he couldn't perform. Realizing she wasn't in danger, she humiliated him with mockery. Enraged, Randall slapped her unconscious. But that was all. Though she'd been hurt, Jamie was relieved that the worst hadn't happened. As they talked, Jamie suddenly remembered why Randall couldn't perform. Back when Jamie was imprisoned, Randall had given him a grotesque choice: his freedom in exchange for sexual submission. It turned out, Randall didn't just torment his enemies. He desired them. Even Claire was stunned. Jamie admitted he had actually considered it, terrified of another brutal whipping. But looking into Randall's eyes, he realized that even if he submitted, he wouldn't be spared. So he refused, choosing a life on the run instead. Claire was heartbroken hearing what he'd endured. But now that chapter was behind them, they could finally live in peace. Jamie soon hosted his first rent gathering as a lord. Tenants brought food and money in tribute. Jamie no longer had to rely on the Mackenzie clan. Claire, now a lady of the land, began to feel the respect of those around her. But Jamie's territory was small, so even repairs to the mill fell to him. While inspecting the broken water wheel one day, his sister came running. A group of redcoats had arrived. Jamie, still a wanted man, had to hide. So Claire and his sister sat on his clothes to cover his absence. When the soldiers came, his sister claimed the mill was broken and couldn't grind food for them. But unexpectedly, the redcoats offered to help fix it. Jamie panicked underwater. Just as a soldier was about to step in, Jamie hurriedly spun the wheel from below, pretending it had just started working again. The ruse worked. The soldiers left. Claire and his sister breathed a sigh of relief. Jamie emerged only after they were gone, all of them now painfully aware how dangerous life still was without a pardon. The next morning, Claire woke to an empty bed. Stepping outside, she was stunned. Several strangers were pointing pistols directly at Jamie's head.